Hey folks, before this video starts, I just want to let you know, in case you didn't see it in the thumbnail before, it's a long video. It's almost an hour long. I get together with some friends, then we talk about the Cybertruck and stuff like that. It's almost like a podcast style. We didn't go for a podcast style, but it ended up turning out that way. So I'm letting you know now, it's one of those videos that you don't even have to watch, you can just listen. So if you want to listen to it on your way to work or your commute or on a long trip in a car or something like that, you can listen to it there, or as you're cooking dinner. It's one of those things you don't have to watch. If you just listen, you can hear it. And we talk a lot of stuff about the Cybertruck stuff that hasn't been talked about yet. I don't think it hasn't been talked about yet. But sit back, relax, and enjoy. And let me know if you like this style, and we can do more of it. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm doing something different today. It's Cybertruck related. For the next 3 weeks, everything will be Cybertruck related. But I'm gonna do a little round table discussion with some of my friends here about the Cybertruck. I've got Franklin, Mother Frunker. I've got Anthony here from Tesla Milton, and I have Mark here from Backseat Baller. We're gonna talk about the Cybertruck. Who wants to start?
Do you guys want to start with the first impressions of? Did you stop it?
No, you started it.
Okay. So, I think the
first impressions are good.
First impressions is what we should start with, because, first impressions is in the name first. You start with it first. So, what were you guys thinking when it rolled out? Mark and I already covered this a little bit, so I don't want to go too much in depth on it, but quick first impressions.
You were there, so.
Yeah, well, I guess, yeah. I was there, and, I tried to get as close as I could to the front stage, to the stage itself, because I'm not 6 feet tall, so there was a lot of people in front of me. But anyways, I was about 10 feet away from the stage, and when it first came out, when I could see it with all the smoke and everything like that, I'll be honest, for the first minute, I actually thought it was a joke. And I turned to Ian Pavelko, the Matt and Gary, and he was behind me, and I said, I wish I had it on film. I turned around and I said, is that for real? That's got to be a joke. I thought it was going to come up there and just like, it was going to be like empty shells or styrofoam, I heard somebody say, and fall off, and the actual truck would be like, like a egg, right? It would be underneath there. But after the minute passed by and he started going into specs and stuff like that, I'm like, damn, this is the actual truck. And yeah, and then it quickly, I got used to it, or I realized, I guess I just was, for lack of a better word, I accepted the fact that it was what it was. And you know what? By the time after the event finished and we all went outside to line up to get test drives, which, as you know, it's a separate story in itself, I was like, this is a cool truck. I like it. And I see it driving around and stuff like that. And that's when I picked up my phone, and we're talking about half an hour difference. Picked up my phone, I put in an order. That quick.
Yeah, that's more or less what I was telling Mark. When I first saw it, I didn't like it too much. But when you start seeing it driving around, that's when you really see, like, wow, this thing's really cool. So it was just that moment of like it driving, knowing it's real. This is the Tesla Cybertruck. It was that moment. I was like, okay, I went from I don't need a truck to hey, I need to have this. Yeah. So no real purpose for a truck, but we'll get onto that after.
Yeah, exactly. Anthony, sorry.
Yeah, I think for me, I'm looking at it when it comes out. I'm like, what the hell is that? Right? It wasn't like, oh my god, I don't like it. It's ugly. It was just like, wow, that's really different, right? And I think initially it was just kind of not shocked so much, but just like, it's like, okay, well, that's different, right? And then but then I'm looking at it going like, this thing kind of has that 80s sci-fi vibe going on, right? It looks like RoboCop, looks like, something to see in like, alien marines pouring out of, to go hunt down the alien queen, right? You've got, Ed 209, the big sentry bot from RoboCop. It kind of exudes that kind of 80s cyber action movie kind of feel that I grew up with, right? Because I was a teenager, back when all these movies were being made. So I think once I looked at it from that perspective, I'm thinking, yeah, it's actually kind of cool. I can see that being something that I'd like to have. And I started thinking, my wife has been talking about getting rid of our ML350, which spends most of its time in the garage. And when they announced the pricing, I'm thinking like that's actually a really good price, right? I could get a Cybertruck to replace the Mercedes, and it's not going to cost me like as much as a Model X, which is the only other real viable option because my wife wants a SUV/truck, right? But I'm not a pickup truck guy at all. Like never in my life have I thought about owning a pickup truck, whenever I see pickup trucks, I'm like, why do people need that monster on the road? But then I'm looking at this thing going, I can see myself driving that, right?
It's funny how we justify reasons why we need it so quickly. Mark, what was your opinion on it?
That's so true. Now I need that. Same thing. Actually, you can hear me on the video when we're at Franklin's house. As soon as I was rolling on the stage and it showed up, I'm like, it's fake. And in the video, I even say that. And it's just everyone else is saying the exact same thing. And then I started going through my head and going, wow, this reminds me when I was playing Halo, the game Halo, and you had that big truck that everyone, ARM APC, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of people have mentioned that too. It's kind of with the flavor and the feel of it. But for me, I did not put a deposit down. I don't think I'm going to. For me, I don't see myself needing a pickup truck at my time in life now. 2 or 3 years from now, who knows?
Yeah.
So maybe you should put the deposit, because then you have it in 2 or 3 years.
I just don't want to be
He's a stronger man than all of us.
Yeah, I just don't want to be that guy that helps push up the numbers, and then afterwards turn around and go, I don't want it, this and that.
Well, I was talking to somebody about that too. Just, people online and stuff like that, but just the people alone that were at the event that came up to me and said, yeah, I put down a deposit. And they said within that exact same sentence, they're like, I don't need it. I'm not a pickup person, but I put down a deposit. So I'm wondering, now, what as of last night, Elon said they were up at 200. I wonder how much will actually go through in 2 years and actually purchase it.
So I tweeted this out actually a few times now. I think the numbers are highly inflated.
Oh, yeah.
Because so I've invested in, and I say invested because I believe in the robo-taxi. I have 4 Ys on order now. And if you look at the price point for those at $3,200 each,
wow,
it's quite a substantial amount of money put in.
Yeah.
Whereas like a Cybertruck, I fully plan to take delivery of the Cybertruck. I'm extremely excited. But the Cybertruck's so much easier of an entry point. So you think a lot of people are putting in orders, even on Twitter I saw it, and I don't even think half the people I saw are going to take delivery. It's more hey, it came out, I can put $150 down. I might get it in 2 years, probably not. But for the next 2 years, I have it in my account, and I have a picture to show.
Hey, I did it.
I did it, yeah.
It's turned into a status symbol.
Yeah, so part of me wishes Tesla, like Anthony and I actually had this conversation, part of me wishes Tesla had the price point higher, because then they'll get more of a realistic number of people who will take delivery.
Weed out people.
Yeah, because I really foresee articles coming up in 2 years from now saying, X percentage of people are canceling their orders, there's no demand.
Well, yeah, and I was thinking about that, speaking of the deposit, I don't even know if it's a deposit, a reservation, or an order, whatever.
But more of a reservation, really.
Yeah, but it on the button on the website, if
it says order.
It says order, but yeah.
But I mean, really, for that kind of money, you're not ordering a car.
No, exactly. You're reserving.
That's a really good order.
It says RN.
But then it says reservation number when it generates a number for you. But I'm wondering, if they were playing it safe and not sure that with the looks and everything that we were just discussing, how it's so polarizing, that they were going to get that if they made it. What is the Y 3,200?
Yeah.
If they made it 3,200, are they going to get that kind of numbers for reservation? So I wondered if they played it on the safe side by saying, you know what, let's make it $150 and we'll at least get more people. So I'm wondering if it was a strategic thing.
Just something to keep in mind too for anyone who's watching. These are Canadian prices, what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So it might be different depending on where you are.
Yeah.
Like the
It's 100 American,
100 US, 150 Canadian, it'll be something.
What the euro is.
Yeah.
Just
something important to know, right?
Talk to Bjorn if you want to know the Norwegian price.
Yeah, but Anthony had a good point in this. You want to?
Yeah, so I was talking to Franklin about it. I mean, and I think that I'm looking at it as I put a deposit, or not. I kind of put my name in the hat.
Yeah.
Really, is more than anything else. I didn't put a deposit on a Cybertruck because I haven't committed to buying this thing that has no price yet and no options and specs beyond what was the limited amount of information that was provided. But what I was saying to Franklin was I think it's a way of people expressing interest in the vehicle. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I
Support.
think that's why you want to have a low barrier to entry price-wise, because I'm one of those people, I figure people probably aren't going to put $150 down on the Cybertruck if they have no interest whatsoever in that vehicle, right? It may be that there's a 1 in 100 chance that somebody's going to buy it, but there's still that 1 in 100 chance, and so those people will, if there's any interest at all, people will probably do it. If they have zero interest, they're not going to do it no matter how cheap it is. But the way I was looking at it was that I think it's a means for Tesla to generate an idea of the levels of interest that are available out there for not only for the vehicle, but for which versions of the vehicle. So, for example, how many people, put the money down on the tri-motor? How many people did the dual motor? How many people did the the standard range? Because you're not going to get that if you go off and say we're going to charge, a true deposit like you get on the Y. When with the Y though, you're ordering the car. You will take delivery of that. I don't think that deposit is refundable, is it? You cancel your Y.
In Canada, it is. They can't do what they do in America, the 100 non-refundable. In America, with our laws, they can't do that.
But I think the difference with the Y is you're actually saying, like, I want this vehicle, it's going to cost me this much money.
Yeah, already preset everything.
Everything's like, exactly at the delivery day it's going to be this, right?
You're more committed.
You can't do that with the Cybertruck because all those specifics aren't available. But to me, I think it's a really good way for Tesla to very inexpensively almost create like this big social experiment that says, what if we made it really cheap? And just to get an idea of who's interested. Right?
Here's the other thing too, right? Think about it this way. I mean, going on the flip side of what I was saying before, I placed an order down on one. So I'm going to go and say, hey, people say, did you see it? Or I'll go up to people and say, hey, I got a Cybertruck on the way. And they'll be like, what's that? Oh, I ordered it. So even though I might not order it, I might generate like publicity or news to other people who might not have an idea what it is. Just because, I put $150 down. I mean, I'm a bad example. I talk about Tesla to everyone all the time, so I might be to the extreme. But people who don't talk about Tesla.
That's why we're all here. This is also an addiction, right?
It's a help center. But people who don't talk about Tesla that much, they might say like, "Hey, this is my first deposit on a Tesla vehicle," and they might want to be really enthusiastic to tell others, even though they might not get it. And by telling others, those people might be putting down deposits, which might be getting it. So to play devil's advocate to what I was saying before, the low entry price might be actually a good way to continue to help spread
the word.
The word, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Anthony and what you're saying too. Like I'm sure they I can never get that word right. Strategically and purposely put which one you want when you're ordering it, which trim level you want. And then when Elon put out the first tweet last night, and he broke it down. He said it was like 47%, 41%, and 17%.
Really low percent for
the base.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is a really good way for them to figure that out. Right?
Yeah.
Because otherwise, like, if they don't really know that, and then they start to ramp up for production, like how do you know what kind of demand you're going to get? What if they think, oh, people are going to want the cheap one, right? But the rear wheel. But it looks like people don't really want that.
Yeah, I'm surprised so many
people seem to want the middle model.
And that's what I
end model, right?
So I got the mid only because I know myself I won't be able to wait the year.
Well, I agree with you for that factor. The factor that I don't have, here in Canada, I'll probably be 80 or 90.
Yeah.
By the time you add autopilot or
full self-driving. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a lot of truck. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a lot of truck. 14,000 pounds. I just needed it to replace my gas car in 2 years, and I've already put a for sale sign on it already.
We saw it.
Yeah,
we saw it. Yeah.
But no.
Superimpose it here.
I know. I will. But getting back to what you were saying, talking about how people, it already in just a few days that it's been out, it's like drumming up a lot of, talk and discussion and stuff like that are from outside of Tesla people, like outside of us. Just like you, people know that I'm a Tesla fan, I guess you can say. And
fanatic?
And I have no fanboy. I have no problem with that. Like, I had family over for dinner last night from the East Coast. There was like 20 people in my house. And all from young kids to older people. And I asked them, and I showed them pictures, because some people heard about it, but never actually saw it. And when I showed them pictures on the TV, on YouTube videos, like, their jaws dropped. They're like, and then, I don't know if they were trying to be polite to me, because they know I put a deposit, and if you know me, you don't have to be polite. You can tell me whatever it is. But they were like, he goes, it's not, my brother-in-law's like, it's not for me, but I see the functionality in it and stuff. And then I asked the kids, and the kids just loved it. And that, I found that very interesting, how a different age group found it completely different. Like, other than my son hates it, and I don't know why. He likes stuff like that. He loves Lego, and it looks like a Lego thing, right? But you were mentioning something about kids.
I had the opportunity. I talked to 60 kids today, and
only 60?
Only 60, yeah. And I did like a non-official poll, let's say, because I didn't have them fill out a form or anything. But the mass majority of them, like I'd probably say 60 or 70% of them, did not like it. The other 30% absolutely loved it, and this is just from like a design aspect, right? They obviously didn't know the specs, and a lot of them really couldn't get past the whole glass thing.
Yeah.
Like that's what
Glass
they
breaking,
but that's a whole nother topic. Let's not get into that too much.
Yeah.
But in terms of design, though, I want to say the majority of the kids I spoke to did not like the design choice.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
But the design doesn't really have. I don't think it's should be the part of the subject. Really, it's does it work for what it's supposed to do? Is it a worker man's truck? Someone that's on the job site that needs to get stuff around. Does he care about really the looks? Because they beat up their trucks. The last 2 days since the event, 3 days, that's all I've been looking at is the trucks out there. And so, okay, looking at this, getting an idea. Okay, what's he got in here? What's he got in there? What's this guy pulling around on the job site? It has to work for what they need it to.
and then
I
take
think
it
that's
to
the
the
biggest
track on the
thing.
weekends, right?
That's why I don't think the tri-motor is really, it's the mid-grade or even the low range, the low grade. Once the kind of gets out to the market, I think more contractors or people that are actually going to be needing a pickup truck are going to then be looking at it.
I wonder how many out of the 200,000 are people who need one.
That's what I mean.
People that are Tesla fans, or
Status symbols.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, you know what? Getting back to, and I don't want to beat this to a dead horse or whatever the saying is. Getting back to the trim levels, when I saw the entry level one and the price and what it tows and everything, and we can start talking about specs in a little bit. I was fine with that. The only thing that made me go to the mid-level one was the range. Because, like I said, I'm not sure, and we can talk about this in a little bit, I'm not sure about how much you're going to lose when you actually have something substantial at the back there towing it. So, for me, range, I need it. I know it's only an extra 50 kilometers they're saying right now, or sorry, miles, but that may make a big difference for me having to stop and unhooking a 26-foot trailer and just to supercharge. If I had to do that, and if anyone had to do that, like, what's the practicality in that? Like, how many people will actually do that?
I think the mid is going to be the most popular.
Yeah, and it comes in at that perfect price point. I was really shocked when I was there. I was really shocked when they flashed at 39. Well, let's not talk 30, 40. They always do that pricing, 39.9, say 40. And then when I saw the 50, I was even more impressed that 50 gets you the middle.
Yeah.
Like, I thought it was going to start at 50.
Right. Yeah, I like
3,000 more pounds. 3,000 more pounds towing capacity, 50 more miles in range, dual motor.
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, I like that's actually one of the reasons why I went for the standard range or whatever you call it. Because
I'm sure we'll be able to change that.
Because 250 miles is almost 400 kilometers, right?
Yeah,
roughly, which is more than adequate for day to day, right? Now, on a road trip, I'm used to having the long range rear wheel Model 3, something that gets me like 500, So you have to stop and charge a little bit more. But for me, it wasn't worth an extra, probably another extra $10,000 or $13,000 Canadian to get that extra 80 kilometers of range, probably.
That's where I cut you off on that, is because it's not a road tripping truck.
Right.
It's supposed to be a Cybertruck pickup truck. It's for the job site. Again, most guys on the day, you're going to your job within 50 kilometers, do what you need to do, have your utility truck, and then back home.
Why can't it be a road trip?
I was going to say.
No, it can, but I'm just saying that
they have the whole camping set up with it. You can do a really good road trip, especially if it has solar. So you can pull off on the side of the road, throw out your solar add-on, start getting charged back up, and make a barbecue in the back of your truck. I'm
curious what, speaking of solar add-on that's going to come in the future, I'm curious what the price point that's going to be, because depending on what it is, for what you get for, what they say,
15 miles.
15 miles.
Yeah, so it can't be that expensive, because otherwise, nobody's going to go after $10,000 for an add-on. I think it's 15 miles of range.
This is Tesla.
What's really interesting though is Elon originally mentioned he never wanted to do solar panels because of the weight of the battery.
Yep.
So why now all of a sudden?
Well, he didn't want
technology.
Yeah, he didn't want to do it because I think he didn't see the plus in in like what you get out of it for what you put into it and the space. But I guess maybe now that you've got such a big tonneau cover at the back, that's what that lid is called, and I've heard so many people on social media in the past 4 days butcher that word and call it different things.
What is it called now, sir?
Tonneau cover.
Tonneau cover.
Yeah, I've heard tonneau cover. I've heard so many different versions of it.
Tuna cover.
Toenail cover?
Yeah. I mean, when you see how it's spelled, it's even worse.
Okay.
But anyways, that cover, apparently that's where they're supposed to put the solar panels on, possibly. I don't know. Maybe for all we know, Elon just thought of that at the last minute and responded to somebody. Who knows?
Because then afterwards he mentioned about some wings maybe coming out.
To expand.
To get 30 to 40 miles.
So I look at it, everything people are talking about, and when Elon says things, I look at it, and which everyone should look at it, in my personal point of view and what I need it for. And when you were saying that it's not a road trip vehicle, I think it is. Well, that's what I need it for. I mean, majority of the reason I'm getting this is, so I've got a 26-foot trailer that we just got last year, and I actually had to upgrade our personal family vehicle, the Model 3 aside, because we had a Highlander and it didn't have enough towing capacity, so I had to upgrade it, or I guess you can say downgrade it, depends on how you look at it, to a Tacoma because it had more towing capacity. And like I said, it sucks on gas when you pull it, but it's something I had to do, and I was waiting. I mean, I did it, I had no idea of the specs or anything, but I did it, and I told my wife, I said, this is going to be a 3 or 4 year plan. We usually keep vehicles, like most people, we usually keep them long term. There's some people that lease vehicles and turn them over every 2 or 3 years. We usually keep them 8 to 10 years. So for us to change it over like that so quickly when we have the Highlander to the Tacoma was rare. And I said to my wife, I said, don't get attached to this Tacoma, because in 3 or 4 years, we're going to replace it with whatever hopefully Tesla comes out with. Now, that wasn't a guaranteed thing. I mean, they have the F-150 coming out. They have Rivian, even though Rivian's a little bit expensive. And, they have, what was the other one? Bollinger.
Those are really expensive.
Buddy, I saw the Bollinger at the LA Auto Show, and I went down there with Ryan. All I'm going to say, I'm going to try to be respectful to Bollinger, but I would see if your old employer would take you back, anyone that works there, because it can't compete between Rivian and now the Cybertruck and what Ford will put out. Bollinger just can't compete.
Isn't it like 150,000 or something? US.
Yeah, it's like 125, I think the guy said, and we were like right there looking at it, and it doesn't have the functionality and the range. They said they're hoping to get 200 miles out of it. Like, anyways, side topic.
I think,
but there's something for everybody.
So that's what I was going to say. It's kind of interesting. Look at the Model 3. It attracts such a large group of people. Like even within like our social crowd that we.
That's how we all met.
Yeah, we all met through the Model 3, and it's kind of interesting because we have people that are like extremely environmentalists, so they bought it for that reason. Mm-hmm. The tech enthusiasts, such as myself. You have like the people who are obsessed over performance. Jay.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey Jay.
Hey Jay. You have like it's like a good family vehicle because it's very safe. It's like 4 just off the top of my head without putting a lot of
cost savings.
Cost savings, yeah. The like money conscious people. So Tesla does a really good job making their cars appeal to such a large market and a large variety of people. So I think that Cybertruck will be the same way. So for one person it might be a working truck, for another it's like
like
a luxury vehicle or luxury.
No, I mean you got these guys driving around with like Escalade pickup trucks, right? When these guys are not working on a construction site, presumably.
Yeah.
G-Wagon.
Yeah. And that truck's never seen a day in its life off of asphalt.
So if they're going to go off and drop, like $100,000 on a Cadillac pickup truck, they're probably going to be the target market for, the tri-motor, like 0 to 60 in what, 2.9? 2.8, something the same like
That's
that.
crazy. I'm actually surprised, we were talking about it earlier, I'm surprised the numbers that actually reserve that one compared to the other two versions, because you're going to have to wait longer, and I didn't think that many people cared about performance.
Because again, it goes back to it's the diehard fans.
Yeah.
That's the diehards that want the speed.
So any thoughts as to why it's delayed? Why it's like a year longer?
Probably still needs more testing. I'm sure.
That, and I think maybe the batteries, just to put that with that kind of 500 mile range, there's probably going to be, and I'm no expert, but I'm guessing they're probably going to have to put 2 packs layered on top of each other. And we know already now, it's 2 years out, or even 3 years for that one, the constraints of battery as it is. Like, I mean, Elon said it. If battery wasn't an option, like, they'd be putting out way more Model 3s and Model S's and X's than they would. But right now, the battery is their Achilles heel, I guess you can say. So I think that's what it is. I think it's the battery. I think they're going to be using, and you know what? That's one thing I was really disappointed with the presentation on Thursday. It was so quick. I mean, it was like 15 minutes long. I don't know if the glass had anything to do with that and changed plans because they knew they had to take it back to replace it for the test drive. But he didn't touch on. He touched on a few things, but he didn't touch on the battery pack, the drivetrain. Like we're all assuming it's going to be 2170. We're all assuming it's going to be Model 3 motors, but like I wish he had went into a little more into depth.
Yeah, I mean for sure, because I mean I actually looked at my watch when it was done. It was like 11:33, and I started maybe 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So let's say 25 minutes, right? Which is
that was
short,
record.
Right?
That was on time. It was on time is when they started.
But just the fact that it was really I mean like I said, very brief. There's a lot of stuff they just didn't cover at all. So like when it was over, I'm like, but that's it, it's done.
Yeah.
Well, what about talking about all the things you didn't talk about? So maybe it's just that they're not ready to talk about those things yet. Maybe I mean you know how it is. I mean it's basically a prototype, right? There's a lot of stuff that's going to change. I mean, one of the things I'm curious about is whether it's going to look the way it looks by the time it comes out, because again, we're talking about a prototype. They only have one drivable model, and then they had the clay model that was on the stage that you took your pictures with. But I'm kind of wondering like how much of what we saw is going to change, and how much of that sort of informs the conversations that they didn't have, right? But they didn't talk about things because they haven't locked them down enough to come out and say this is what we're doing, right?
Well, yeah. Touching on that, they were rushed and they scrambled to put this out. You can tell by the product itself because it does look very raw, unfinished. That's a good word, unfinished. The event itself was very unorganized. I mean, anyone that knows Tesla knows that's their whole daily work, anyways. But it was very unorganized. I mean, from just getting our tickets, standing in line, to then getting in, to stand in another line, to get in. And if you saw some of the YouTube videos where when the doors opened up, like a mass of 300 or 400 or 500 people, I don't know how many were there, but they all bottlenecked and filtered into this tiny, tiny little doorway, double doors, to get in. At one point, I'm so small, I was moving, but I don't think my feet were touching the ground at one point. It was that tight.
Like a mosh pit?
Yeah, no, it was tight. And then once you get in there, and that's where you see that Lotus Esprit thing, that white thing, when you got into that entrance, then they had this smaller doorway that was just a regular doorway, like 36-inch doorway, to filter more people into it. And that's when you get into the big room with the stage and everything, the red room, as I call it. So it was very unorganized, but what I'm saying is, I don't know if you guys saw the Motor Trend write-up, how they were 6 weeks ago, they had that exclusive where they went behind the scenes, and I guess they were NDA and stuff like that. And 6 weeks ago, that truck was only partially put together. So they scrambled. And without disclosing too much information, I don't want to get anyone in trouble. I know somebody that, it's one of these, I know somebody that knows somebody, but it is, on good authority that someone had worked on an engineering team and talked about all the stuff that they had to scramble and do. And what that person did, they concentrated on the tailgate and the ergonomics of the tailgate and how that works and how that ramp comes out. And it was very interesting. He was saying, or they were saying, how they had to do all this kind of like, I guess, battery test on it in a short period of time. Like they had to stomp on it and slam it and this and that to make sure it would take the weight. Like they'll obviously have 2 more years to work on that, but they needed to do that in a short period of time. And obviously, I know why, because they had that ATV that rolled up it, right?
It was pretty slick looking.
Yeah, but if that ATV had went up there and it cracked and snapped in half, well, we just had the glass do that before. Like, can you imagine that? I mean, it was bad. It was going in a bad direction as it is. So they were saying that they were rushed. They were rushed, and it was interesting the kind of stories that they were telling me that they did behind the scenes, but it was rushed.
That ATV is going to have a crazy market for after sale.
Oh yeah,
because you can only get it through the truck. So I don't want the ATV.
Is it true that you can only get through the truck?
Suppose
Well,
that's a.
They said that
Again, it's hearsay right now.
Yeah, I mean,
I heard it's going to be like that's going to be the.
Okay. It's going again. We've
Looks like it's
got
like
20 minutes left on the
the
card,
garbage.
so we're not going to be much longer. So yeah, you're talking about. Well, I might as well say the camera stopped there for a second, so we can continue. You're talking about the ATV, right?
Yeah, like I think the aftermarket sale of the ATV is going to be like you're going to right now. From what I heard, you're only able to buy the ATV by buying a pickup truck or a Cybertruck.
Packages together.
A package together.
Yeah.
So someone like myself who doesn't want the ATV but wants the Cybertruck, I can take the ATV and sell it to someone who doesn't want the Cybertruck. So even if the ATV costs me $5,000 and sell it for $6,000, that's $1,000 profit.
Yeah.
That offsets the cost of my truck. So I think you're going to start seeing like a huge, well, not start seeing, I mean in a couple of years, but you're going to see a market for ATVs.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe you shouldn't have said that because now you gave everyone else ideas.
Yeah.
I was keeping that close to my chest. I don't know about you though.
It's interesting though because you're talking about how the event seemed rushed, and I wonder, I mean, how much of that was probably as a result of Elon wanting to kind of fit in with the whole Blade
That's
Runner
exactly
November 2019 thing, right? Because I mean, like going way back, he's been saying that the truck was kind of influenced by 80s sci-fi and by movies like Blade Runner and stuff like that. So I mean, given the fact that Blade Runner takes place in Los Angeles in November 2019. I wonder how much of the, we have to do it in November 2019.
Oh yeah.
Ended up, affecting the timeline of what was presentable within that time frame. Right?
I don't know, but I can be pretty sure that they were rushed, like we were saying with the production and everything else, but to have that event on that weekend because they couldn't have it next weekend coming up because it's U.S. Thanksgiving. That wouldn't have made sense.
And then November.
And then we went into December, and before it was too early. So I think they had to have it in November, and Elon wanted in November, and all their events are always on a Thursday. I don't think they've ever been any other day on a Thursday, if I remember correctly.
Why is that?
I don't know. It's a very good question.
They all celebrate and take Friday off.
The same reason Apple did everything on Tuesdays. Just do
Oh yeah, true.
That's
Absolutely.
a talking point for the weekend.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm sure there's strategicness
only
behind
gives the stock one day to tank before the weekend.
it. Yeah, but I mean,
Just saying.
I lost my train of thought. I was going to say something. No.
So on a totally different subject,
Yeah.
I watched way too much Cybertruck stuff. Like I said, I'm very excited about the release of it. Something I did notice from the test drives was the software that they're using.
Huh.
So it's actually really interesting. If you watch the FSD Autonomy Day event, like months ago,
Yep.
the software that they use is what we currently have right now. So it took months for us to get the software that they upgraded to, or that we upgraded to, sorry. So I'm kind of curious to see how long it'll take for us to get the upgrade that the Cybertruck was running.
Yeah, some people were saying at the event after the test ride they were assuming or thinking, and it's a very good assumption that could be V11,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That could be
Next year.
this time next year.
Yeah.
Maybe rolling out.
It looked really good.
Oh yeah, it was slick.
Yeah.
Yeah, how it just faded into each other, the screens.
I know.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just seemed really nice because you had more of like the vehicle view of stuff and everything was just kind of like faded around and all the settings were really easy to access and stuff. I don't know, it looked really nice.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, go ahead.
Back to the interior. Where's the stock? Turn signal, stock.
You know what? I was wondering about that because I was listening when I was walking around. I was listening to actually Ryan McCaffrey from Ride Lighting. He was doing an interview with somebody away from the whole event and everything, and he'd already had his test ride and everything. And I'm not saying anything that he hasn't said already in his podcast, but he was mentioning the stock and how there wasn't one. It wasn't whether it was for the autopilot engagement or the gear selector or even the turn signal stock. It wasn't. They didn't have one. So we were brainstorming. Trevor and I were thinking, could it be just because it's a prototype, or could it be that's where they're going because they're thinking 2 years from now they're hoping that this vehicle will be fully autonomous, and you won't need a turn signal, you won't need to put it into gear, you won't need to put it into autopilot. Who knows?
Well, the one that they had at the event, the way they did it was all through the screen.
All through the screen.
All through the screen.
And there's one video I watched, I think it was jerry rig everything, and I may be wrong, but he was in a test drive, and he had someone in the car in the back seat that turned to the driver and said, "How do you turn? Like, how do you signal?" And all the driver said is like he had his hands on the wheel, and he just like nodded and looked in the direction of the steering wheel. And he says, "It's all in here," but he just left it at that. That's all he said. So.
Like
I was thinking in the
paddle or something.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah, exactly.
button or
Yeah,
paddle.
there must be just
Exactly.
some
Behind maybe.
I want a Tesla assistant. Okay, Tesla, signal left.
Voice maybe.
Yeah, but that'd get really annoying really quickly.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That last.
Yeah, it was like
Especially if
most
you
voices.
need to go over 3 lanes, signal, stop. Signal again, stop.
Just like most voices say to you, please turn left. No, turning right. It's like, no, left. So,
But did anyone else notice? Speaking of software and features and everything, they put up, and I'm going to butcher the term because I don't remember it off the top of my head, and when I remember it, or when I find it in post, I'll put it somewhere here. They talked about autopilot. They flashed on the screen, and then they flashed self-parking or something like that. And there was a third one on the right talked about docking or towing or something like that. Like, and what I took from that, and tell me in the comments below if I'm completely off, that there's going to be some kind of autonomous way that when you're hitching the truck to another RV or another trailer of some sort, it's going to do it autonomously, or it's going to assist you in doing it. That should be pretty interesting. I don't know if you guys got the same thing or saw the same screen that came up there, but for someone that, like I said, getting back to someone that pulls a trailer and stuff like that, if my truck can back up and hitch itself, it's worth
pretty
50
awesome.
grand right
Game
there.
over.
Yeah, and if I can do it while I'm outside of it, like Smart Summon, and I don't even have to be in the truck, and they'll do that. Like, can you imagine a crowd of campers, or if you go to a campsite or you go somewhere where in the first year, just the sight of the truck itself is going to draw attention. But then when the truck backs up and hitches itself to a trailer, that'll...
so, go fetch my boat.
Yeah.
This one you're going to definitely need to have your referral on a card. Start handing them out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's like, this is my referral code. Make sure to use
Yeah,
this.
just put a vinyl graphic on the back window. Your referral
You got no
code.
space.
Yeah, I know.
It's
True.
a big truck.
It is a big truck.
We saw that thing I tweeted out earlier today, or maybe that was last night. Somebody had superimposed Model 3 in front of the truck.
Yeah, I just saw that
That
tonight.
thing is freaking huge.
Yeah.
So you stood beside the clay model?
Yeah.
Did you stand beside the non-clay model as well?
Well, I'm assuming they're both the same dimensions, but I was
Good.
close. I didn't get, like I said, that whole sore spot of not getting a test drive is one thing. But no, I didn't. I got pretty close to the production one, the one I was driving.
Yeah.
The workable one, I guess. But the clay model, the mule,
Is it as big as it looks?
Well, I'll put up a picture, and I'm not a big guy, but I'll put up a picture of me next to it, and you tell me how big it is. I look tiny next to it.
Okay.
But you know what? It looks big. I guess it's deceiving because it looks big, but then they also compared to the dimensions and the size to an F-150, and it's identical. Like, they did that on purpose, right? Like, they're all, I saw some graph somewhere online where they compare the length, the width, and the height to GMCs, to Fords and Rams, and they're all within 2 or 3 inches. Not even, like 2 inches of each other.
Yeah, it's about 20 feet long, almost, I think.
Uh,
Greg Williams had done some calculations at Overclock This on Twitter,
yeah.
and he posted just a little while ago. He said it looks like it's going to be almost 20 feet long. If they took the length in centimeters and converted it to feet or something like that. But,
Yeah.
But
No,
it's
I
a good.
believe it.
Maybe it's like the size of one of those, like, what do they call, crew cab or something? Where you have the second row of seats in a pickup truck cab.
Well, it's a full size. It's
Yeah.
what they call a full size. What I have at home in the Tacoma is a half ton, I guess, like a mid size, I guess you can call it. And I looked at my specs on the Tacoma compared to this. It's 6 inches longer than a Tacoma. Now, 6 inches, it's all relative to some people. 6 inches is either a lot or a little bit, and we won't go there.
Yeah.
But
Whoa.
and it's going to sound even more weird when I say this. I told my wife how big it is, and first of all, she hates the size, and her biggest concern. Yeah, I know you're laughing.
We can
over
crop
there,
this part of the video.
We're still talking about the truck, right?
Yeah, I didn't want to go there, Anthony, but yeah, she doesn't think it's going to fit in our driveway. We don't have a big, huge driveway. We can fit 3 cars, 2 one in front of each other and one to the side of an odd-shaped driveway. But she's scared that it's not going to fit in a driveway. I mean, it's not that big. It's a full-size truck.
Yeah, well, I mean, you see, it'll fit in my driveway. It definitely would not fit in my garage.
No,
That's
it's not going
for
to fit in a lot of people's garage. Well,
Because
garages
I got
aren't
the Model-
made anymore.
Yeah,
these
because I got the
days.
Model 3 in there. I mean, I got enough. I got the Model 3, and then there's like a freezer behind it, and I got enough room to walk between the freezer and the Model 3, and that's about it.
And you got a double car a garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, with single, double.
But most pickups don't fit in garage.
Well,
yeah,
anyway,
exactly.
It's, like,
Well, you don't need to put that in the garage.
it's not like it's like, oh my god, is it not going to fit?
Well, you're not
Yeah,
going to need
that
to put it in
should-
the garage
yeah.
like Anthony just said, because, I mean, what are they going to do? Come up with a steel ball and throw it out your window? Like,
Well, you know what? Let's talk about
Well,
that.
Now you give people ideas.
Let's talk about that. Am I the only one that? Yeah, it's great to talk about and even demo it on stage, but has Tesla thought about long term when these trucks come out to the customers of the general public remembering 2 years ago and like trying to kick it and sledge? I mean, say whatever you want that it's not going to get dented and all that, but I still don't want someone touching my vehicle.
so you're not going to be joining my sledgehammer?
Yeah, he's having a
sledgehammer
sledgehammer
party?
Are you going to change your name?
No. Well, we
Mother
had, the,
Sledgehammer?
we had the smart summon party.
Yeah.
So the sledgehammer party.
No, I think I'll pass on that one.
You're not going to come out and enjoy?
I'll come out and watch you.
No,
in
no,
your truck.
he's offering his truck. We could all
Oh yeah,
his
oh yeah,
truck.
I'm in. I'm there, buddy.
Yeah, we'll beat the crap out of your truck. No problem.
Yeah, yeah. But you know, I mean, you could say how indestructible it is in the window. Like the window, how many people do you think are going to be throwing rocks at that window just to see?
Yeah.
Like,
I
I mean,
want to go
it's
to a
inviting
record
you.
now. I want to go to a record now and throw steel balls at the glass and just see what happens. Record that to
Yeah.
show people and say this is what happens to a normal window.
Well,
So
without going into detail, because I can't say anything right now, but there is a video of that coming up soon. Not me, but I know that someone is working on that.
Yeah, well, I think, that's what I'm saying about changes. Like, I mean, I don't, I mean, from a safety perspective, I mean, from what I've read, I think that you need to, glass has to be breakable, at least on the sides of the vehicle, just in case emergency service needs to get in, right? So,
That's what Mark and I talked about.
Yeah, like the,
Yeah, you guys were talking about
like the
that.
windshield's fine. I mean, this will be great for, all those idiots who throw bricks off of overpasses onto cars, won't go through the windshield and kill somebody.
Yeah.
But you still need to, if you get in an accident and the truck rolls over or whatever, you still need to be able to get people out.
Exactly.
And you can't be like hammering on the window for 10 minutes trying to get it to crack. So I tend to think that some of these things will need to be changed before
Yes.
production simply because of either practical or just safety reasons or compliance with existing regulations or whatever.
Well, I'm not too worried, but I agree. And this is another discussion I had with my wife, telling her about the glass and everything. She's like, and she usually doesn't think of stuff like this, but she thought, she's like, so in an event of a crash, how's someone going to get out? She goes, it's going to be a death trap. And I'm like, relax. It's not going to be a death trap because Tesla's put out the 3 safest cars in the world. You think that they're just going to stop there and throw all caution to the wind for the Cybertruck? No, they must have, and if they don't, they've got 2 years to plan to get some kind of idea to find a solution for that.
So I don't want to go in depth too much because Mark and I did cover it, but
Watch their video.
yeah, we talked about it quite a bit. And
so don't spoil anything.
fine. No, I was just gonna say that basically, like, I had the same thoughts as your wife with that, and even just the material choice.
No crumples on.
No crump. Like you want it to have it. You want to have give.
No, it does have a crumple zone. It does. That the other one of the other things that came up. I didn't mean to cut you off, but another thing that came up in that discussion with the guy or the person that was on the engineering design team.
Yeah.
They laughed at the fact when people said, "Oh, it's got no crumple zone." It has.
Okay.
It's all-
No, that's good to know. Like,
Yeah.
It's not that I question it. It's just like they never really discussed
No.
safety at all.
Well-
And the Model 3 event, when they showed it off originally, they talked about
Yeah.
well, the unveiling of the model. Like they talked about safety.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting back to. It's like I was so shocked that they just rushed everything. And like I said, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm going to assume that it was because of the glass break that they had to, like, maybe Elon in his back of his mind said, let's just cut this right now and get this in the back because we got to repair it.
It would have been so much better instead of taking like a sledgehammer to it. Because I mean, if you want to show how indestructible it is, it would have been better to have other cars drive into it. Because you would have had like the same kind of effect, but more of a realistic approach.
That's why they didn't shoot it on stage.
Yeah,
right?
and you know what? Because the Model 3 showed crash test video in the presentation stuff, they had more cars. This was the only car
Yeah,
because
that's
they
true.
rushed it so
You
quick.
mean on stage.
No, it was the only car
the
ever. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
only
the clay
one.
model,
It's like a one-on-one.
and then the drivable one. I don't even know what's that called. The
Right.
Alpha or Beta or whatever.
Well, there's another version coming,
Proto?
but let's not spoil that.
Yeah, sure there is. Okay, we got about a few minutes left. Do you guys want to wrap up with any final closing thoughts or anything like that?
Yeah, well, you mentioned already actually about how to charge it.
Charging, yeah.
Charge when you have a trailer. Over 250 kilowatts, he said, capabilities of charging.
Yeah, just like the Model 3. So that's where I'm assuming it's going to be the 2170 pack, and the drivetrain and the motor will be the same as the Model 3. I'm assuming, but yeah, he mentioned that, but didn't go into detail.
In our video, we talked about what do we think is next. And I was actually, then it got me thinking today before we had this little rectangle table talk.
Round table.
Round table chat. Was the fact of, so they've already had 3 cars already in production, and now you have 3, not including the ATV, they're in the back burner. So they've already got like 3 cars in waiting and 3 cars already built. They've almost got more cars in waiting.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's their road plan, right? What I'm curious about is why they didn't allude to anything or hint to what's next. Because they must have something next. Like, I mean, they're not just going to stop here to truck and, okay, this is our line of trucks. We'll sell this for the next decade. They've got to have other stuff. Rumor was, in one of my predictions, Tesla Raj had mentioned that he thought it was going to be like the 20,000 subcompact car, and Elon had mentioned that years ago, I think, in an interview somewhat. So the rumor was maybe they're going to do that. Like every event, they usually tease of what's to come. So that's the nature of this company. They live on hype. They don't advertise, so they do hype, right? And other than the truck and maybe the ATV, I don't know how big that market is. They have nothing else.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Because Elon tweeted, I think it was the day after the event, or maybe 2 days after. It was either Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember. But he basically tweeted something along the lines of like, that's it for now. Like there won't be any more reveals for some time.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
He said just software.
He said there's going to be some things. He has like some technology stuff.
Technology-based stuff, yeah.
So stuff is coming, but not like product reveals, right?
Full self-driving.
Yeah. So he tweeted about that at some point, and the gist was that it seems to be like there won't be any more reveals for a while, because there isn't going to be.
I want more events.
Which suggests there won't be anything new to reveal for a while.
But
right?
it makes sense though, because you look at all the other events, right? You saw other vehicles on the stage here because it was only Cybertruck, so you didn't want to kind of mar it by showing the Model Y or the Model 3, anything on there, because it's only supposed to build this truck that's completely out of this world.
They want no distractions.
Yes.
Yeah, that could be why.
That's why when people are mentioning, I'm like, I don't think they wanted anything else in there because the stage was set for this.
Yeah. I'm just wondering what the next events will be. I guess there'll be launch events, like when they launch the Model 3. Or are they going to do one for the Y? Are they going to do one for this truck? Are they going to do?
They'll have one for the battery.
Well, yeah, that's it. Like the Investors Day, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, no, actually, like events where they invite people down to Hawthorne.
Okay. It seems to be. It looks like it's gonna be a while before any of that happens again. So.
The one I go to, and that's the last one, really? I'm hooked now.
At least you got
to exactly.
Yeah, no, I don't want to sound ungrateful.
I think, I know we're getting towards the end here.
Yeah.
In a long video. It's much longer than what I normally publish.
Yeah, I apologize for that.
Because I try to keep all my videos under 10 minutes, and it's going to be like...
Oh, it's just shy of 10 minutes, buddy.
Yeah. But I want to say, like, if the viewers enjoy this style of video, I definitely want to do more of it.
Yeah.
We can keep talking about the Cybertruck for probably many more hours. There's a lot of things we wrote down that we haven't even covered yet.
Yeah, exactly.
So if people are interested in hearing more of our thoughts and more of this style of discussion, let us know. And I definitely would want to do more of these because, I mean, I'm kind of obsessed with the Cybertruck now. So
no, I agree. Yeah, if you guys like this kind of format and stuff, and we can even sit down side by side and do this next. We can change the layout, but do the same kind of discussion format. Let us know down in the comments below, and we can do a part 2. Of the Cybertruck.
And a part 3, a part 4, and so on and so forth.
Like we're going to ride this Cybertruck wave.
What do you mean? There's more than just a Cybertruck?
We can talk full self-driving. We can talk Y coming.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm only focused on the Cybertruck. I'm not going to lie to you guys.
Well, you
You got a long way to go.
yeah.
You're gonna have
You
to
don't want to
change
get
your
too
name
obsessed.
to Cyber motherfucker.
Cyber mother, and there's the name change. Or
No, not yet.
okay, you guys have anything else, or we're good to wrap it up and let these people get back to their regular life?
Yeah.
if you kept up with us this long.
Regular life, they're going to the next Cybertruck video.
You know,
Yes.
actually, when I first said at the start, so I'm not really interested. But if I can go in the back seat and ball from there, then who knows? Maybe I'll put a deposit down.
Okay, I'll make you a deal. When I get mine, you can be the first person that uses Smart Summon from the backseat.
Deal.
Alright? You heard it here first.
Yeah. Or let's even kick it up a notch. If we can get we're small channels. Let's not think that we're like huge YouTubers. But if we can get 200 likes on each of our videos, you'll put a deposit down?
Deal.
Deal? You heard that, guys. Mark?
Is that on each
Yeah.
video or
He
at
said
least
on each.
On each video, yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
each?
yeah.
Okay, deal.
I'd be lucky if I get 200
Yeah.
views. I'm so small.
Hit the like button.
My channel is small.
Alright.
Hit the like button, guys.
And then
I want to see him get his.
Go to the description. We'll link the other videos. Depending on which one you watch, they will be similar but different, depending on how we edit them and crop them up.
Yep.
But at least click the video, let it run because watch time is good for everyone.
Yep.
And make sure you hit the like button for each of us so we can get Mark a Cybertruck.
Exactly. At least a reservation.
Reservation.
Reservation. Well, I mean, there's a chance afterwards.
Yeah, you never.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, there's one
So
thing I
you're
was.
saying there's a chance.
We should end it there.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll catch you on the next one. That's all we got today. Take care.
See ya.
Backseat baller. See you later.
Goodbye.
That's it.
Did you say goodbye?
Goodbye.